So I'm holding this horse with the old guy on his back. I'm trying to get them both to calm down, but it's not working. The old guy's off.
We'll go to Shifty Shafts, man. Shifty Shafts.
3 other employees who could have taken over cabins while I started cooking, or I started cooking while I was out cleaning. But they didn't. Instead, I had to make a 3-course meal for 2 people, and fast. I forgot about the stayover cabin at this point and started cooking. In less than 20 minutes, I have a meal provided from leftovers. I heat those up, serve them, clean up, and go home.
That's just great. God damn. You love to see it, man. Love to see it. Gun. Alright. Tack, right?
She then proceeds to say the kitchen was disgusting and that I didn't clean it right. She and her granddaughter had to come in at midnight and clean it.
Oh, bitch, what?
Still dirty this morning.
Yeah, my ass, bro. My ass.
I was also there way past midnight and she never once made an appearance.
Fucking fake ass suck skin. God damn. Oh my god. God damn.
Kevin was fired a week later during her rant about me. We never got what she owed us. The business card Kevin had, she made him put in his name. She used it to buy her granddaughter a new saddle, Will, a new golf cart that looks like a mini Mustang, and also used it to take a weekend spa trip. Not only that, she pinned all the business charges on us. Well, the weirdo who was lonely. I always shrugged off his advances. Anyway, with a couple minutes of reasoning, he finally hopped in the car and I took off, driving towards his home, about 5 miles away on winding mountain roads. I didn't notice anything really at first. He seemed drunk, quiet, and molly. But not too long into the drive, he starts saying thank you, how nice I am to help him out. I say the usual, of course, no problem. Couldn't let him be there knowing full well he wasn't able to drive. This is where I start getting creeped out. I make a turn on the road where he lives on. It's a long road. Not many houses. All of the driveways are long, about a mile or 2, so you can't even see the houses anyway. It's really quiet, and it's dark in the car. I can't see very well. I notice him look at me though. I could see the reflection of his eyes from the dim lights on the radio. This is something I remember vividly.
Okay, your boy's actually gonna try a bit now.
The lights on the radio knobs. He was just looking at me.
Okay, let's go.
Without turning his gaze, said, "What's up? Why are you looking at me like that?"
Are you looking at me like that, man?
"You're so pretty. And I never get this chance to be alone."
Bitch, what?
I shrugged it off, trying to play it cool, although I'm beginning to regret my decision. All of a sudden, he reaches over to me while I'm driving and tries to put his hand on what I'm assuming was my breast, but instead his hands land on my shoulder and neck area. I start yelling at him to stop. I slam on my brakes in the middle of the road.
Please.
And I scream at him to
no.
get out of this car now.
Oh, I'm so dead.
Over and over.
Please.
I had my hands off the wheel and was trying to physically push him out. I had leaned over and opened the car door. I had never in my life realized my own strength, my own weak strength. This 30-something guy wasn't budging against me. I noticed him laughing, a really sloppy laugh. He says, "You and I know that no one's around." I said to him, "We just left the bar. At least 5 people know where I'm going. Please, stop. Here's a flashlight. Walk on home. I'm done with you tonight." He's quiet for a minute before saying, "I don't feel like walking much." The way he said it scared the living shit out of me. I start screaming, not like a horse scream, but like an ear-piercing one. I knew the scream was strong and loud, and I'd even hurt my own ears, just hoping someone had their windows open somewhere off in the woods. But nothing happened. We struggled for what felt like minutes as he was trying to come at me. This entire time he was kind of laughing. He was drunk, so that was probably my only advantage, as I wasn't. He was sloppy and trying to attack me for whatever reason.
Okay.
I pushed on him like I'd never pushed on anything in my life. I pushed so hard that I felt my arms burning with pain. When he finally gets out of the car, I slam on the gas, not even bothering with the door. Remember, I was headed down a long-ass road in the middle of nowhere, and not on my road. It's a dead-end road after about 20 minutes, so I keep moving down this road I know well.
Oh, son of a
Knowing
bitch.
full well I need to stop and turn around, but this road is like 1.5 lanes wide, and there's hardly any turnouts. When I finally do, I turn around fast in someone's dirt driveway, afraid of the car being still even for a second. I take off driving, knowing I'll see him up ahead any minute. I never do. I never see him again. He was a local I'd known for years and saw frequently. I don't know if he took off to another area out of embarrassment or what, but I never saw him again. And I arrived home, shaking, red, scratched, out of breath. My boyfriend and our friend were at home playing Jenga, and I told them immediately. And they knew who it was too, and went to try and find him. Never saw him again. This was last November. So, a few years ago, I worked at a Waffle House in a college town, so weird people really aren't that unusual. To start off, there are only two 24/7 restaurants there, and I worked third shift at the Waffle House. Sometimes when a person's car would break down, the police would drop them off at one of these two places. Not supposed to.
Oh
So
shit,
they
I'm
drop
dead.
them off within walking distance, but not actually outside. Like some shitty loophole. So one night, I was working with a cook and another waitress. We'll call them Mark and Cassie, respectively. Around 11 p.m., this old guy wanders into the lobby with a little bag. First off, we don't usually get older people after around 8 or so, at the latest. Second off, dude's creepy as fuck. He starts off telling us about how his car broke down on the highway and the police dropped him off in the parking lot next door. I feel bad for him because it's the middle of the night and he's not from around here and he has no money. So I pour him coffee and I don't charge him. My coworkers are usually on drugs, so I assume coffee.
Oh, mother.
This is when the guy just I can barely get into work edgewise, which is difficult since I'm usually
I just got destroyed.
talks about what happened to him and then starts
Son of a
all the tools he has in the little bag. Of course, I say no, but he just keeps asking about it. He also starts wandering in and out of the store. The first time he does so, Mark, who's ex-military, searches his bag to make sure he doesn't have any weapons because he's starting to raise some eyebrows. There's nothing but tools though, so we feel marginally safer. When he comes back in, I keep talking to him. Mark and Cassie nope the fuck away to the other side of the store and I watch. Keep in mind, this guy is literally the only person here.
Oh,
We don't start getting
I'm never gonna win a game, bro.
Now he's beginning to talk about a lot of weird things. I said I'm interested in studying prisons, and he tells me the best way to do that is to get arrested. Then he starts talking about how he used to be in prison, but he never says why. He's starting to make us really nervous. I start to draw him in case the dude decides to, like, murder us. We'll have something because I'm good at drawing things I can see. There's a low little wall where we usually write the customer receipts, so I can draw him without him noticing. Not that it matters, since he's looking straight ahead while he talks to me. We start getting customers because it's about 1 a.m. Bars let out at 1, so anyone who can drive gets there at 1, well, those who walk there get there about 30 minutes later. And this guy keeps talking no matter where I am. He doesn't raise his voice or anything. He just keeps talking at the same level, even when I walk away to take care of other customers. At this point, I'm starting to think this guy is schizophrenic. I'm a psych major, so I mean the actual schizophrenia and not just crazy, and wanting to get away. really can't because I'm afraid he might do something. He does, but not what I was afraid of. He just starts insulting customers. He tells one kid that he's fat and asks why he's so fat. Tells him he needs to lose weight. Then he talks to a family of travelers and says, "Your wife and kids are fine, but why are you so ugly?" We decide he has to go. Mark tells him he has to leave as we've warned him several times to leave the other customers alone. So Mark says if he doesn't scram, we're calling the cops. The guy starts yelling at us, glares at me a lot and asks why he should leave, but he finally does so. But he comes back half an hour later and we have to kick him out once again for insulting customers. He doesn't come back that night, so we decide he must have found a way home or contacted someone. So I finish around 7 a.m. and walk home. I live above the bars downtown, so it's a 30-minute walk. Along the way, I see the old guy. I go behind him.
Oh, I'm dead. Oh, mate. Destroyed. Get. Oh. Oh, I'm dead.
I'm pretending to be an adult as usual. So about an hour before work, Waffle House calls me and my coworker Kevin tells me the old guy's been coming around several times during the day, every couple of hours, and looking for me. I'm a 23-year-old female, so they're worried about
Oh, no.
what he wants. I call my friend Jason and tell him I need a ride.
Oh, mate.
I ask what's been going on.
My guns are trash.
This guy's been at least 10 times asking to talk to me. He never says why.
Help.
He just says he wants
Please.
to talk. So I'm on edge.
Help.
Waiting because I have no idea what this guy wants. Is this 60-year-old guy pissed off I didn't defend him when he was kicked out? Is he asking for me just because I told him my name, or is there something else?
Ooh, mate. 3 sniper. Yeah.
Shift, we don't see him.
It was, no, I think it's 2 sniper kills.
I'm super confused, but I keep an eye on him again. I've also bought pepper spray. Before long, though, we kick him out again for harassing customers.
Combat shotgun. 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 I'm actually liking the semi-auto sniper.
He doesn't come back.
Yes,
When
man.
my shift ends, my friend asks if I need a ride, and I tell him no. The guy's left and hasn't come back, so I'm good. Well, that's what I thought, until I saw him walking towards me after work. He yells out for me, starts coming at me, but I run into another building I know has another entrance and exit. I sneak out another way before this guy can find me, and
Oh,
every guard I can
mate.
think of, way back me. I still have no idea what
Oh, son of a
I'm not
bitch.
taking any chances. I sneak home in some back ways and get there. I call work and let them know what happened and ask for the next few days off. They agree and later tell me the old guy kept coming in the next few days, and they finally called the police on him and they took him away. So this is one of my less scary experiences with creepy.
Oh shit. Son of a bitch!
Not to say it still doesn't creep me out. As a kid,
No, I'm not Swedish. I just got destroyed. Feels bad, man. Oh god. Didn't let me build.
my dad got home around 6. So from school. There parking our car. She pointed out a creepy guy in the car in front of hers who was looking at us. She ushered us inside. Brushed it up to just a weird coincidence or something like that. She still kept a close eye on me.
So you're from Sweden, yeah?
From the top of the platform I was on, next to the slide, I heard a man say something.
God damn.
It was something along the lines of,
Got absolutely wrecked. I was doing okay that game as well. Are you the guy I played with from...
drilled stranger danger into my head. And I was a really smart kid for my age.
I don't think so.
Tell the guy off myself. I know, stupid decision, but I thought I could handle it. I was wrong.
How did you find me? Were you just looking on YouTube? Or do I have you with a friend or something?
Eventually, the guy pretended to get a phone call and claimed it was from my mom. He told me she said to get into his car and take me to the bookstore. I knew there was no reason for her to ask someone to take me somewhere, and I just ignored him. Then he got out of his car and began approaching me. This was right on the fence, so I was out in front of him. He grabbed my arm and dragged me to his car, but just then, as if God himself gave me a miracle, a police car came down the road and saw what he was doing. The guy let me go and sped off. The officer chased him and eventually caught him.
Oh, yeah.
My mom came rushing out when she heard the sirens.
I probably got you on my friends list then.
I think he claimed to be my dad and that my mom was abusing me. The officer treated me well and called his bluff. I'm seriously glad that officer was there just then. I can't explain it in any other way. This might be a shorter story, but it is definitely scary. It still gives me bad thoughts.
Are you on Fortnite or something? Because if you want, we can do a duo or something.
Once again, this took place after my parents had divorced, but they weren't close to each other, so it wasn't all that bad.
Oh.
My mother's house and one ticket up to my dad's house. This was almost a nightly thing. This was one of those double houses.
Oh, that was nice.
To get to my dad's house, I had to pass the other side first.
Feels good, bro.
It's passing their house.
Oh yeah, alright then.
Asked me to come over. I thought since my
What, AFK in
her in the house,
Fortnite?
I didn't really trust her, so I came closer. She noticed the Xbox games in my hands and straight up said, "Hey, we have a bunch of fun games. Little boys here who want to play with you in here. You want to come in?" I slowly backed away, not turning my head to her as I was doing so. I felt a large, cold hand on my shoulder. My blood ran cold. I didn't dare turn around. I heard from behind me, "She isn't this nice all the time. I suggest you take her up on her offer." My fight or flight kicked in and I chose flight.
There
His
we
grip
go.
wasn't all that good, so I escaped easily and ran inside. I didn't tell my dad, but I did call the police. I couldn't live knowing that they might have multiple kids in there. A few minutes passed, and a police car showed up.
I'll drink this slurp.
The two officers walked out of the house with the two people.
Oh god.
Apparently, they've been luring kids into their house with the promise of games and toys. I still imagine what would have happened if the man's grip was stronger. And thank God I chose to call the police. They had two kids in the house, both boys. This is my story, and it's nice getting it off my chest. I'm a 28-year-old guy, currently working as a volunteer at a pet rescue shelter. I've been working like this for about 2 years, and I love this job. This happened about a year ago. It all began when a new girl started working at the shelter. I'll call this girl Gracie. Gracie was 21 years old and incredibly shy, or at least it seemed that way at first. During her first few weeks, she would only talk in one-worded sentences, no matter what she was asked about. No matter how often the rest of us tried getting her involved in social stuff, she would decline. A few weeks in, she started making comments like, "I just don't like people," and "I just prefer to be left alone." People obliged and left her alone. When she'd been working at the shelter for about half a month, she started following around a few guys like a lost puppy, drooling when she thought no one was watching her. I was one of those guys. Her behavior was outright creepy, as she was still not talking very much, just following people around, staring at them like a dog in heat. At one point, I went straight with her and told her that I found her behavior very creepy. I told her she should be careful because some might interpret her behavior as sexual harassment. She just looked away. Shit went down a few weeks later when I managed to stumble upon Gracie's Tumblr. Gracie had submitted a picture of herself standing with one of the pups from the shelter, She added a lot of hashtags about our local shelter, apparently in an attempt to spread awareness. Out of curiosity, I went to her actual Tumblr, and boy, it was just a Pandora's box of creepiness. Basically, Gracie's Tumblr could be split into 3 parts. One part was pictures of random people, most of which were people at work, and all of which were obviously snapped without the consent of the people in them. All of the pictures had stories attached about how the person in the picture was a bad person. Most of these stories were about how the person had been bullying Gracie, or making sexist or homophobic comments, and acting like a generally shitty person. All of these kind of stories ended with Gracie stepping in and telling the person to check their privilege, as if the stories weren't unbelievable enough on their own. The next part was pictures of guys Gracie thought to be hot, both real and fictional. In between the pictures were stories about these people mixed in various relationships. Gracie even had made up stories about these 2 guys at work being in a relationship, and she had countless pictures of them doing stuff like talking or caring for an animal or whatever, with captions like, "See, they're totally in love. Gays are so cute." Mind you, both of these guys were in healthy relationships at the time. The last part was Gracie either reblogging or submitting texts about social justice, especially from the extremist parts of Tumblr. I found a post talking about how a guy at work had told her off just because she'd been looking in his direction. The conclusion to the post was, I don't see what his problem is anyway. Guys think about sex all the time. It's not like it's a violation when guys actually want sex. They can't get sexually harassed because they would never actually object to sex. The post had been reblogged with various comments of "die, cis scum." At first I wasn't sure what to do about all of this. I knew something definitely had to be done about it, but I didn't know what. In the end, I went to my boss and we had a talk. She told me this was probably just Gracie living a fantasy on the net, but acknowledged it had to stop. 3 of us had a talk, and Gracie was utterly humiliated someone had found her Tumblr. She didn't outright apologize, but she did seem to accept that it had.
Shit.
What she was doing was borderline illegal. So in the next few weeks, Gracie became a shadow creeping around the shelter.
Son of a bitch.
My boss only kept her around because she was always free to do work at whatever odd hour was needed. Her Tumblr seemingly got deleted, but I had a feeling this wasn't the end of it. About 2 weeks later, I was checking out the accounts that had been friends with Gracie's account. Mainly, I wanted to find out how far Gracie's lies and stories had spread. Mostly it was her social justice stuff and the gay stories about the guys at work people had been reblogging. Through all this, I found out Gracie had a new Tumblr, one that was even creepier than the old one. The new Tumblr didn't have a lot of posts, not at all like the first one, but those it did have were even creepier than her old ones used to be. One of these stories was an explanation about how she'd been forced to shut down her old Tumblr. Some lies about how it was because she was supporting the LGBT community, and her boss thinking ill of that because some cis scum felt threatened. The next couple of posts were either updates on the gay couple and stories about them, or posts about this shitty dude at work. What made these posts really terrifying was that she made a threat about killing me. She even wrote long paragraphs about how she would like to strangle me, poison me, or stab me, and how great it would feel to kill off a cis scum such as I. What really made my heart jump was when I found a picture of my house. A few similar posts had been made about some of our co-workers, but apparently it was mainly me that she held a grudge towards. I went to my boss again, this time telling her I'd get the police involved too, because this sort of behavior was just way too far out. Gracie was called in again and got an earful, but during the entire talk it became obvious Gracie had no idea that the behavior was wrong. She told us that it was just stuff inside her head, that she would never actually do it, but when asked why she had then been uploading pictures of my home and why she'd been stalking people and kept snapping pictures without them knowing, she just made up some bullshit about how it wasn't us on those pictures. I finally blew my confused and told Gracie I'd talked to the police because I sure as hell wasn't going to stand by as some creep was following me around with a camera. The police got involved, and as part of the case, they confiscated Gracie's phone, her camera. Apparently, this led to a case of drug possession, and Gracie was later taken to jail. I to her then, but I'm hoping she's in a place where she can no longer upload bullshit on her blog. Let me start this off by apologizing for any grammar mistakes. I don't have a good excuse, I just suck at my own freaking language sometimes. So, I turned 16 exactly 3 weeks ago.
Oh, you
bitch.
Oh, shit, man. Fake, man, you bitch.
I'm 16
oh,
for
damn.
a few months now.
Jeez.
I'm homeschooled with 3 siblings.
Son of a beast thing.
It's the only chance I have to do my work in a quiet, neat place. About the beginning of this last summer, I noticed some guy was at the library every single time I was. First, I thought nothing of it, as there's plenty of people I've noticed coming to the library regularly. But one day, I noticed something way off. I had finished all my schoolwork for the year and was just dicking around, playing some games on one of the library computers, when I noticed the same guy setting 2 computers down from me. I smiled and nodded at him and then continued my game. The internet on my computer started going off, however, so I switched over to the other side of the computer desk and logged onto that one. Lo and behold, creepy guy, who I'll refer to as CG from here on out, switched over to the other side as well, sitting right next to me and staring at my computer screen as if I was blind and wouldn't notice. I immediately got a bad feel about this scoob and texted my mom to tell her I'd be stopping by the pharmacy next door to pick up her prescriptions for her, just so I'd have an excuse to leave. Apparently, though, CG wasn't done yet and followed me outside. He stopped me right outside the library and asked me for my name and how old I was. I told him I'm Hamming and 16 years old. He informed me that his name is Jonathan, and he's 46. He then proceeds to tell me I'm
Wait, what?
one good-looking 16-year-old,
Ew.
and walks away.
Ew.
This dude looks about as stereotypical meth user as you can get. Sandy beard, gel-spiked hair, dirty band t-shirt, and ripped-up cargo shorts. So I just figured he was your run-of-the-mill creep. The next day, I had a writers group meeting at the very same library, so I left my house and started walking for it. I'll spare you the tedious details, but around halfway through the walk, I noticed CG following behind me on a bike. I was creeped out, but I didn't want to seem crazy, and I simply chalked it up to him walking the same way as me. To be sure, I ended up taking 2 right turns, both of which he followed. I was officially bugged out, so I turned onto our town's main road, which led straight to the library. He followed me the entire 3/4 of a mile there. At some point, I don't remember, I pulled out my phone and texted my girlfriend what was going on, and then called her until I got to the meeting. When I got to the meeting, I explained to the group leader what was going on, and she offered to drive me home afterwards. 2 hours later, and we leave and see CG still waiting outside the library, glaring at us all the way to the car. A few weeks went by without a CG encounter, so it was
Während dir mich schien.
until the day.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna go straight for the vending.
Snacks. When I noticed him sitting outside the
Yeet.
laundry, I passed on my way home. I groaned internally and decided ignoring him was the best bet.
Oh, yes!
Ran after me.
Oh,
Word for word conversation,
mate,
but it was
just...
Hey. Still 16. I don't believe you. Now, I have no idea why I didn't just knock him out then and there, but I didn't. And instead, I pulled out my student ID and showed it to him. And what he said next, I'll probably never forget. Oh, shit. Well, are you emancipated? No. You should get emancipated. Why? Because then you can marry me. I promise I'll take care of you, and our kids will be so cute. I booked it out of there, and after a couple more incidents of him following me around, he sort of dropped off the map. Until back in August, he cornered me in a gas station to demand to know why I act so scared around him, and to stop doing that. I haven't heard of or seen him since, but to this day, the idea of him still freaks me the fuck out. Obligatory, not me, but my girlfriend. Girlfriend's lease is up and is looking for a room to rent for the remainder of college, so being a student turns to Craigslist. She finds a great-looking house in a brilliant location, about 30 minutes from the university and a 2-minute walk from Main Street of a lovely little town. Rent's kinda cheap, too. The house is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom place, and there's 2 guys living there. One was 24, and the other was 35, or close to it. Can't remember the exact age, and they both work together. Girlfriend goes for a visit and meets said guys. Thinks they're pretty decent, but the older one is a little odd.
Okay, I'm actually gonna try for this now.
She gets to know the guys better, and turns out the older guy's been homeless before and had a pretty rough start to life, but now he's firmly on his feet. She chalks his weirdness up to that. I come for a quick visit and meet these guys myself. The younger one is great, very talkative, and generally a nice guy. The older one is very quiet and keeps to his room a lot. I thought he was pretty weird, too. Now you're waiting for horror stories, so here it comes. About a month or so after my visit, I get a phone call from my girlfriend who's in tears. She said that the police have raided their house with a warrant for child porn. The police have seized everybody's electronics, laptops...
you know what? Just leave me alone. I'm sorry, okay? I should have got the inventory. Inventory? Yeah, the inventory would have been a way better choice. But I just like using the pistols, you know, pistol. Oh, yay.
One day, he packed up a backpack of stuff and just left the house. Left his keys on the table, never to return. We suspect he was basically running away. He left all of his shit in his room. Remember, I said the guys work together? Younger guy told us a few days after that older guy had run off, that older guy went into his office and basically admitted it was him, that he'd been doing it for a while, and that he's going to turn himself in. Naturally, he got fired on the spot. And obviously, he didn't turn himself in and has since vanished. I'm a blackjack dealer at a tribal casino in Oklahoma. I've been a dealer for 13 years. In that time, I've seen some scary people, but none stand out more than this guy. This was a freaky guy, and I'm not easily intimidated. He's about 6'2", medium build, dirty blonde hair, and a big scar on his cheek. Reeks of Bud Light and Winston cigarettes. He had a wife that always came in with him, and she always seemed to have fallen into something face first. He's a typical redneck asshole. Not only was he mean to his wife, he was hateful to everyone he encountered. One day, I was dealing to him and it wasn't going very well. I think I may have taken like $2,000 of his money, and that's when he started in on calling me things that, frankly, I wouldn't call my dog. When we encounter verbal abuse, we're allowed to have our pit boss have him removed from the tables. My pit boss is a woman, and he says, "I don't let no woman tell me what to do." As security is walking him off the tables, he looks me dead in the eyes and says, "You better watch your back, and I'll get my 2,000 from his ass one way or another." After the altercation, he was banned, but only for 30 days. Sure enough, after the 30 days, he's back in and on my next table. I ask my boss if I can avoid the table because of our past altercation. My boss tells me he'll keep an eye on him and I'll be fine. I get to the table and he just stares me down. I start dealing and he's winning. About 20 minutes into my 30 minutes on the table, he says, "Boy, am I glad you're paying me because I have a knife in my boot and I was planning on stabbing your ass." After my 30 minutes was up, I immediately notified my boss what was said. Security was notified. They take him to the back, and sure enough, he has an 8-inch Bowie knife in his boot. This time, he was given a lifetime ban. This is less of a creepy one-person encounter, and more a whole community creeped out by one man. The neighbor in question is somewhat famous for his lawn, an impossibly thick green landscape that he had tended by a company. I've vaguely been aware of him losing it on the landscapers, screaming at them outside. Enough, I knew he had a temper anyway. The first real red flag that he might be legitimately crazy came last summer. He asked a teenage boy in the neighborhood to check in on the house once a day and make sure all the doors and windows were secured and water their flowers. The day they left, though, he left a crazy list, saying the kid had to be there multiple times a day, turning off and on different sets of lights at specific times, and leaving weird chores for him. Also, the kid wasn't allowed to walk on the lawn and had to remove his dirty shoes before walking on the concrete sidewalk. He was never to enter the house, but was to turn off and on the lights from a doorway by means of a stick with a lid on it. Also, he wasn't allowed to use a garden hose to water the lawn, but had to instead use a teeny tiny watering can. The letter implied that my neighbor would have the kid under surveillance and would have pictures if he failed to comply. Basically, the kid's parents called him and said they weren't comfortable with the situation anymore, and while they would keep an eye on the house, the deal was off. They argued over the phone. When my neighbor got back from vacation, it was early morning, and he immediately went to their house, woke them, and tried to pick a fight with them. One of the other neighbors is a retired cop, and came out to see what was going on and tried to settle the issue. Crazy neighbor said that he would let it rest if someone were allowed to bare-ass spank the kid. He flipped out when they told him hell no. Sometime after this, another neighbor was at the grocery store when he was cornered by Crazy Neighbor. Crazy Neighbor apparently just talked at him in rapid fire for a half hour. Among other things, he started saying how wives shouldn't have friends, and said that his wife's sister was so fat she broke the toilet seat last time she visited. After this, everyone started talking about how you don't see his wife anymore.
That was such a butty play. I can't believe I didn't die from that default.
While her husband is seen out, she isn't. Considering that she used to be a social butterfly, this is weird. During the winter, everyone found pamphlets on their mailbox from the landscaper he uses, along with a note saying it was mandatory to now use this landscaper in our area, and failure to comply would result in being sued. We're private single-family homes with no homeowners association, so this is patently untrue. During the winter, someone saw his wife and her arm was in a sling and she had a black eye. When they went to ask her about it, he wouldn't let her speak, and she said that she had slid on ice. Since then, there have been a few attempts made to talk to her alone, and all have failed. They've gone so far as to get their church involved and to call a welfare check by the cops when he was out of house. But if she is being abused, she's been refusing help. Snow was bad this year. He didn't fit about the snowplows piling snow on his property, so he scattered screws on the roadway outside before they came by one morning. Then, someone in the neighborhood got a puppy. It's quiet and has a fenced-in backyard. Its owners wake up in the middle of the night to hear the doorbell ringing, and when they come out, Crazy Neighbor is standing on the road at the edge of the property. He tells them
Nigga, wait, what?
Crazy Neighbor claims he was out for a walk, thought they were awake, and stopped by. He says he didn't get the gun out, but it had been on his belt, and that he didn't mean his statement as a threat. He got some sort of citation from the police.
Oh, fuck off. Oh, this game's pissing me off now. Fuck's sake.
Someone put up a swing set